Hey guys, so I have found another bug in my code. When I go to start subscription, I have a new email typed in and I use the payment method and I put in some data. It leads me back to the page. So I don't know why this is happening. I now have a problem with my SAAS. It does not show me that my subscription is alive. It worked yesterday. Now the DB file looks according. The file looks according. Wait, the data DB file looks like this. So for the one user we have a true in the subscription alive, and here somehow we have the false subscription alive. And the command line output, the command line output is the so I think it's not firing because yesterday we had a lot more in the command line. Let's break this down cleanly, Sebastian, because your symptoms point to one of three very specific failure points in a Stripe-based SaaS. Your DB shows the correct subscription state, but your app data does not. That means your webhook did fire yesterday, your webhook is not firing today. Your DB file clearly shows one user has a subscription active, the other ones are false, but your front and back end is not reflecting that anymore. So the issue is not the DB, the issue is that Stripe is no longer sending events to your webhook. The real problem, your webhook is not receiving events anymore. Okay, so we need to open a second console. Use the Windows PowerShell. But will this now work? That's the big question. Oh wait, maybe we need to restart this. Restart. Oh yes, okay, so I guess this was the problem. Okay. So already we have some more output to the line. We go to host, get started. This is my new user account, start subscription. Photo. 555 666 and put in my Max Muselmann. And then okay, welcome to the app. Okay, so yeah, that was my mistake. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I did run this, but it now works perfect. That explains everything. When Stripe isn't running, your backend is basically dev to Stripe. Nothing gets delivered. Okay, so now we want to deploy our SaaS on a backend hosting service like Railway. I have read that Railway. Okay. Can you tell me how to deploy my SaaS on Railway? Absolutely, and the good news is that Railway is one of the easiest platforms to be deploying Node.js, Express, Stripe, SaaS, since you already have a working local setup where we can turn it into a production deployment in a clean, reproducible way. Below is a step-by-step guide tailored for your SaaS, including Stripe webhooks, environment variables, and persistent storage. Deploying your SaaS on Railway. Step by step, prepare your project. Railway works best when your projects have a package JSON with start node, source, a dependency list, a Docker file, optional but recommended for SaaS. I have not made a Docker file. I will not use that because this will also take a lot of time for me to understand how to do this in Docker. Yeah, push your code to GitHub. Railway deploys from GitHub. Create a new GitHub repo. Push your SaaS project. Make sure your env is not committed. Okay, create a new Railway project. Click new project. Choose deploy from GitHub repo. Collect your SaaS repository. Select your SaaS repository. Railway will automatically detect Node.js and start building. Set up your environment variables. Most important part for Stripe. Important, your production webhook secret is not the same as your local one. You must create a real webhook endpoint in Stripe. Okay. Configure your server for production. Yeah, we will need to change a lot of stuff to actually make this run on a real web address. So now this local host address, it does not really work for other computers, but you want to deploy this to the internet, and then you will need a service such as Railway to help you with that. Persistent storage. If you use JSON db.json, Railway's file system is ephemeral. It resets on each deployment. You have two options, Railway. Okay, yeah, this is not so good. We will probably need to change a lot of stuff, but yeah, don't worry about that. This will work. Okay, what was the first step? Okay, first the package JSON file, then let's look for the package JSON file. That's the package JSON file. The main is the server start node source server.js. I think this will work fine. Okay, this is the package.json file. Is it ready? Correct package JSON. Okay. Yeah, I think I would just implement all the steps and then try to make it run, and then if there are any errors appearing, you will just give it to the AI. It will try to figure this out, and then you will just do what it says you, and you kind of work through it. So we can just step by step implement it, and AI will somehow fix it when you give it enough information. Now your project is Railway already. Install dependencies, run npm start. Serve your server app on injected port work perfectly with Stripe webhooks once you add a production webhook URL. Okay, so what is the next step? Next step is to push your project onto Git. Initialize Git if not ready. In your project folder, go Git init. Oh, yeah. Git init. Initialize empty Git repository. Okay, this looks good. Ah, okay, fuck. It's a common mistake and it will break your deployment because railway. Okay, so we have made a little mistake. We need to go one folder above. Then use ls. Perfect. You're now in the correct project root, exactly where you need to be before initializing it properly. Okay, remove the wrong Git repository type source. Okay, so we need to remove the wrong repository. Wait. We go cd to the source repository, then we remove this Git repository. Then we use cd, initialize Git in the correct folder. We use Git init. Nice, so Git repo is now initialized in the correct folder. You're exactly where you need to be. The next steps are straightforward and will get your SaaS ready for GitHub and then Railway. Okay, so this looks good. Okay, we use the git add command. But they're completely harmless. You didn't break anything. Git is just warning you about line ending normalization on Windows. Let me explain what's happening. Okay. You can safely ignore those warnings. Okay, I think we will now use initial commit. Yeah. Okay, so the initial commit was committed successfully. Create your GitHub repository on GitHub. Click new repository. So go to GitHub, but is the can I do this step from PowerShell? You can almost do everything from PowerShell by creating the GitHub repository itself must be done on GitHub's website unless you use GitHub CLE, which you haven't installed yet. No, I actually have GitHub CLE. GitHub CMD. I have GitHub CMD. I have CMD. Can I use this to create a repo? Okay, run this in PowerShell. Okay. GH minus version. Perfect. Your GitHub CLE is installed and working. That means you can create your GitHub repository directly from PowerShell without touching a browser. This will save you time and keep everything in one place. Private, remote origin. Run this inside your project root, SAAS project. Okay, to get started with GitHub CLE, please run ghauth login. Alternatively, populate the gh token environment variable with a GitHub API authentication token. Okay, so I guess we need to kind of authenticate ourselves. You're almost there. GitHub CLE is just telling you you must authenticate before I can create a repo for you. Totally normal. Let's fix it one clean step. Step 1, log in to GitHub CLE, run this ghauth login. Okay, ghauth login. Where to use GitHub, use arrows to move filters. Okay, what account do you want to log in? Wait, this is not what he's telling me. HTTPS is the correct choice. Here, enter. Authenticate Git with your Git credentials. Go ahead and choose Y here. Okay. How would you like to authenticate GitHub CLE? Use arrows to move to the filter. Login with a web server. Login with a web server. So first copy your one-time code and press enter to open HTTPS in your web browser. Okay. Then continue. Copy this. Authorize on GitHub from Würzburg. Authorize GitHub. Okay, wait, is there something now in the command line? I think authorize GitHub, verify, confirm access when you are ready, trigger a mailer to verify your identity. Okay, verify email. Okay, we now got the code to my Gmail account. Go to Google, Gmail, Gmail, GitHub. And here's your pseudo authentication code. Verify. Congratulations, you're all set. The device is now connected. This looks very good. Oh no, no, no. One-time code. Okay. Authentication complete. GH config set h GitHub. Git protocol HTTPS. Configure Git protocol. Logged in as Sebastian 2002. Okay, wait, then we send this to all AI, then it will tell us the next step. Perfect, your GitHub login is CLE login is completed and everything is configured correctly. Your authenticated Git is set to HTTPS and you're logged in as Sebastian. Ever push to your Git. Now you can push your repository in a single command. It's not loading. Is it? Okay. Run inside your project root. And this. Okay, what is it saying? Created repository on GitHub, added remote, enumerating objects, counting objects, delta compression using up to 16 thread compressing objects, writing objects, total remote resolving deltas done to HTTPS GitHub, Sebastian, SAAS, project Git, new branch headmaster, new branch master set up to track origin master push commits to HTTPS GitHub SAAS project. Okay, then we now have what we need, I think. That output is perfect. It means your entire SaaS project is now live on GitHub and ready for deployment. You've completed the hardest part. Now we move to the fun part, deploying your SaaS on Railway. Let's keep the momentum going. Your GitHub push was successful. You now have a private repo remote set to origin, branch master tracking origin master. Your repo URL GitHub Sebastian 2002 SaaS project. Everything is exactly as it should be. Next step, deploy it to Railway. Open Railway. Okay, wait. I also would like to do this step from the command line interface if that's possible. Otherwise, I can just do it from the website, but I rather do stuff like this from the command line interface. Can I do the steps in Railway from command line? Okay, so Railway has a CLE, but it does not support the whole workflow. Hmm. what you can do with the Railway CLE, deploying from your local machine, viewing logs, opening a shell inside your service. Okay, so we have okay, then just do it from the website. Perfect. Switching to the website is the smoothest way to get your SaaS deployment. You already done the heavy lifting by pushing your project to GitHub, so the mostly clicking through a clean UI. Okay. We open this. Let's do it that way. Okay. Deploy a new project. Click new project. New project. Let's deploy your first service to production. What would you like to deploy today? Choose GitHub repo. GitHub repository. Try a different search. Configure GitHub app. Install authorize railway app. Install authorize your personal account. All repositories. Install and authorize. You're being redirected to railway app to continue installation. Okay. Railway.com. New project. Okay, no repository found. Railway isn't showing you, doesn't have yet the permission to access your GitHub account. It's super common. The first time you deploy, let's fix it clean, reliable way. Configure GitHub app. Wait. Mm, okay, get this. Okay, so we need to only selected repositories. This list will appear. So we use SAAS project, save, will be redirected to the installation. Okay. Update access depending on GitHub UI where we want to confirm. Return to Railway. Okay, I grant access and return to Railway web page. Control on refresh. Okay. Know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe deploy repository. I think I have a problem because I'm logged in with the wrong account. New workspace, create new workspace. Plan features. Use this, payment details, subscribe to pro plan. Let's switch hobby. Okay. 5,000 a month. Why is it not free? What the fuck? Log out. Yeah, deploy new project. New project, GitHub repository, login with GitHub. Okay, listen. Yeah, we were logged in with the other. Keep it cool and keep it cool for everyone. The most accepted terms of service. 16. Accept. Anything illegal? Okay. So now it can find my GitHub repository. Okay, so this was the first step of deployment. I will now upload this video and continue in the next one because my PC cannot make bigger videos than 40 minutes.